Thank you, Steve Kinion, Director of Captive Insurance for Delaware, for joining me today. We're at CICA 2012 in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I was wondering, Steve, if you would share with us just, developments in the captive industry and areas of concern and areas of opportunity that you see.
Oh, sure, Tom. I'd be happy to discuss with you and your viewers on that point. And what I've been seeing, greater frequency are calls and inquiries about using captive insurance for the formation and distribution and selling of life insurance and annuity products, another life-related product, which may be somewhat of a disturbing trend because the general crux of these inquiries have been to use a captive that would be then soliciting, selling, and negotiating life products to outside third parties. And naturally, my answer to those individuals who are making such inquiries is first, that's probably considered an authorized insurance in the state in which you plan to do that, and the insurance commissioner or insurance superintendent or insurance director of that state would look very dimly upon that practice, and there's a high likelihood of a cease and desist order being issued. But also it concerns me from the perspective that these kinds of activities and these kinds of thoughts are not healthy for the long-term future of the captive insurance industry, and we as regulators need to be vigilant of these types of inquiries and practices. And naturally, sometimes I attribute these calls to simply the person not having much knowledge about captive insurance, and that's fine. Because one of my jobs as a regulator,
marketing enthusiasm.
Yeah, marketing enthusiasm.
Well, let me ask this: what about employee groups who want to offer life or related products to their employee group?
Well, that's
captive.
That's a little different in terms of an employee.
Or maybe use a front
program.
and then reinsure and participate in that. Can they do that?
Yes, I mean, there you contact the U.S. Department of Labor and obtain a prohibited transaction or an exemption letter from the U.S. DOL. Only about 27 captives, though, I believe the number is about 27, have done that since the year 2000. So it's not a frequently used process, but it is the preferable route if you're using a captive for employee benefits purposes, and that captive is then fronted by an A-rated carrier for the products being used.
Okay, so we're seeing a lot of interest in employee benefit applications of captives still, although I assume the commercial markets are highly competitive price-wise in that space.
Sure, but still there is interest in using captives for employee benefits purposes, and I think that's perfectly legitimate, and if it works for that particular employee to tailor an employee benefits program that fits them, their employees, and is also very cost-effective, then I certainly encourage them to do so, and certainly Delaware is always interested in entertaining those types of proposals. Are you
seeing any business plans being proposed on somehow trying to use a captive for employee retirement cost liabilities and things of that nature?
Well, yes, for retired employees and their benefits programs, yes. Right. We have seen that, and captives are a legitimate vehicle for use if those captives are used properly.
Okay, they do provide some type of economic benefit as opposed to just. I'm wondering what the alternative funding mechanisms are for private pension liabilities, but.
Well, let's make a distinction here between pension liability, Tom, and employee benefits.
Right.
What I'm speaking of would be an employee benefit program that would either be for the current employees or the retired employees. That would be more appropriate in terms of the captive as opposed to an actual pension, whether it's a defined contribution or defined benefit program. But yes, in respect to using a captive for the employee benefits aspect, I think we're now seeing in the captive insurance industry greater interest in using those types of vehicles. I think part of that may be attributable to the Affordable Care Act. I mean, although many people probably know about the ACA, there are many in the business world who are still confused by the Affordable Care Act and its consequences.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. I'm going to go ahead and close this segment so long and maybe reshoot it in some pieces, okay?
Okay, sounds good, Tom. Thanks.